What's up everybody, Jesse here again. In today's video I want to talk to you about selling on eBay and how you can still make money doing that in 2020. In this video I got 6 ideas of how you can start getting some inventory to start selling on eBay right now today, and some of those have absolutely no cost up front. So that's going to be the subject of today's video. Stick around, let's get it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to start selling on eBay is an eBay account. Now, if you've ever bought anything off eBay, you probably already have an eBay buyer account. And in order to convert that into a seller account, it's pretty easy. You just need to go through a few additional steps, one of which is like connecting your bank account. And there's a few other things that you have to enter, but it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you don't already have an eBay account, you can sign up for one, connect it to your bank account, and after that, you're ready to start selling. So next, you need to figure out what it is you want to sell, how much you can sell that item for, and about how long it's going to take to sell that item. So here's how you do that. When you go to eBay, you're going to search for the item that you want to sell. Once you search for that, it's going to show a page that is just the listings. Now these are current listings, and the prices that are shown there don't really mean anything as far as what you're going to get for the item. That's just what people are currently asking for that item. So don't really pay attention to dollar amounts here, but it'll show you how many of the item that you want to sell is currently listed. And so that will, help you gauge what your competition is. But what you want to do on this page is in the lower left corner, click on the little box that says sold items. When you click on that box that says sold items, this will show you the items that have sold and what they have sold for. The green dollar amounts that you see on these items mean that that's what that item has already sold for. That's specifically what that item has sold for. If you see a red dollar amount, that means that that was what somebody was asking and it didn't sell. So this is why it's important on that other page to not really pay attention to the prices, because those are what people are asking and those are not what it's actually sold for. What it's actually sold for is the amount that you should actually look to getting and making yourself. So that's the important part, the green number. Now also on this page, you're going to want to pay attention to how often that item sells. So if this is something where you only have one of the item or two of the item, then maybe how often it sells isn't as important. But as you get into buying larger quantities of items and selling those on eBay, then this becomes more important. The reason why this becomes more important to know is if you buy, say, 50 of an item and they only sell one per week, then that means it's going to take you about a year to sell that item. On the other hand of things, if you buy 50 of an item and they sell 10 per day, then it's only going to take you 5 days to sell that item. So you don't want to tie up a lot of your money in inventory that is going to take a year to sell. So that's one of those things to watch out for. If you have an item where you only have one or two and they're selling pretty rapidly, then this isn't really relevant. But if you're buying large quantities of an item to turn around and flip on eBay, then that's something that's important, because again, if you're buying 50 or 100 of these and they're only selling, one a day or one a week, then that means it's going to take you a while to sell those. And do you want to keep that money tied up as an investment in those items until they're sold? It might make sense if you're getting them cheap enough, but it might not make sense if you're only selling one per week and it's going to, you have 50 of them, it's going to take a year to sell all those. That's something that you definitely want to pay attention to and make sure that it all makes sense. And one last thing you want to pay attention to for on the sold item page is, what is your competition that have sold already? What are they charging for shipping? Because a lot of sellers on eBay now offer free shipping because it looks more enticing to the buyer. So this is one of those things where if you're offering free shipping, keep in mind you still have to pay shipping. So that's going to be one of those costs that's going to come out of everything. So if something costs $10 to ship and you don't charge anything for shipping, you're going to be minus another $10 in all those costs. So that's one of those things to keep in mind. And if you want to offer free shipping on a lot of items, it makes sense. If it's smaller, lighter, on those bigger, heavier items, it typically doesn't make sense. And you'll see that your competition isn't doing that. So you don't really need to do that either. You're going to want to be able to pay attention to those shipping costs. The next thing is you need to figure out what your shipping costs are actually going to be. So this can be done by, if you have the item and say you have the original box that it originally was purchased in, then that's great because you're going to use that to ship it in. If you don't, then you're going to need to think of putting that item in a box with enough packing material around it to protect it, and how big that box is going to be. And then you want to weigh the item so you can get an approximate weight of that item. Now, this isn't something where you need to know the exact amount right now at this point. This is one of those things where you can get a generalized idea by going to UPS.com, FedEx.com, or USPS.com for the Postal Service. On those pages, you'll be able to type in the package dimensions and the weight, and that will show you about what you're going to pay for shipping. This is something that you need to know because you need to know all of those costs up front. Another thing is eBay seller fees. eBay seller fees are typically about 10%, but it depends on the item, and there are some items where they actually have no seller fees, like shoes is one of those items where they have no selling fees. You're going to want to look at eBay and check out what the current commission is that they take. But again, it's typically about 10%. So if you can't look on eBay specifically at that time, planning for 10% is a good way to go in there. And then also, you're going to have to pay credit card processing fees, whether you're paying those to eBay or PayPal. eBay is in the process of right now phasing out PayPal and trying to do all credit card processing themselves. But in the end, credit card processing is going to cost you about 3% depending on which way you go. As you get bigger and build into bigger volumes, the credit card processing fees can be decreased. But in general, I would plan on paying about 10% in eBay fees and about 3% in credit card processing fees, for a total of 13%. So that means you're going to lose 13% right off the top, plus shipping fees. Okay, so now that we've gone over all of those things and how to figure out about what you're going to get for the item once it sells after all fees, we need to start discussing where do you get your inventory from. So idea number one is probably pretty simple. This is things that you might already have around your house. These are things that maybe you have but don't use anymore. Things that are sitting in your garage, sitting on a shelf, sitting in your attic. Things that you don't use anymore and really don't have any use for. You know, they're taking up space and collecting dust. Those are the things that you can start listing on eBay right now, and it doesn't cost you anything. It might be old cell phones, it might be old video games, it might be old clothes, any kind of old knick-knack kind of stuff. Those things that you don't use anymore, haven't used in more than a year, you're probably not going to use again. And getting something for them is better than nothing. So those are great items where you can practice on eBay and learn the ins and outs before you get deeper into it as a business. So look around your house, find those kinds of things, and start there. On to idea number two. Idea number two is very similar to one, but in this case, you're going to contact those friends, family, neighbors, maybe your boss, anybody who you know who has other stuff sitting around their house that they don't have any use for, and you're going to go to them and tell them you'll share the profits with them. So what this means is you're going to share the profits with them 50-50. Now listen to me, I said profits, not what the item sells for. Also be upfront and honest with them on this, because if you let them know that eBay is going to take about 13% of it, and then you still have shipping costs, letting them know that, you know, when the item sells for $100, they're not going to get $50. They're going to get a smaller amount minus all the costs. The way you're going to want to pitch this to them is that getting something is better than nothing for that item. Right now they have something, an old cell phone that's sitting on their shelves and it's collecting dust. The value of it is decreasing by the day. And if they give it to you to sell it, they'll get half of the money, and that's better than nothing. Eventually, it's just going to sit there, collect dust, and they're going to end up throwing it away or donating it to charity or something else. So giving it to you and having you sell it for them on eBay is a great way for them to make some money that they wouldn't otherwise have had. Get rid of that stuff that they have taking up space and help you make some money in the process. The third way is what's known as arbitrage. This is something you might have heard of before, but basically what it involves is going to your local Walmart, Target, any kind of store like that. Some people even go to Dollar Trees and do this, but you can go to any store, look at the clearance section, and look at the reduced price. Now, once you do that, you go on eBay and you look up that item and see what it sells for on eBay. Now, also keep in mind, you're going to want to remember that you're going to have to pay those eBay fees and shipping fees. So what that item is selling for on clearance at Target or Walmart isn't your actual cost. Your actual cost is that plus sales tax, unless you live in one of the few states that don't have sales tax, plus eBay fees and credit card processing fees, and plus shipping. Now, if all of those numbers add up to something that is less than what the item is selling for on eBay, that middle area becomes your profit margin. So you have to look at all those before you figure out your profit margin. Now, you look at the shelf and you see that there's 50 of these items on clearance. And if you can make a few dollars on each one, then times that by 50, $3, say each item times 50, that means you can make $150 selling these. Now again, going back to what I said earlier, you want to make sure you can sell those things fast enough because you don't want to keep all your money tied up in that investment. But if you could buy 50 of these, make $3 an item, or make $5 an item, or $10 an item, and you can sell all 50 of those really fast, making $5, $10 an item adds up really quick. The other advantage of buying one item and selling multiples of it is that you only have to list the item one time. So you only take pictures of it and write a description one time, and you list 50 of them. That auction then works for selling all 50 items in the one listing. So you created that one listing and you can sell all 50 of those over and over again until the inventory has been depleted. So that's a great way to sell multiples of one item, only have to list one item, and make some good profit in a short period of time frame. You just want to make sure that they'll sell fast enough and that there is enough profit in it after all those costs. The fourth idea for obtaining inventory to sell is garage sales and flea markets. The reason why these are great is because a lot of times at garage sales and flea markets, this is people who have stuff that they want to get rid of. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't sell at the garage sale, they plan on throwing it away or donating it to charity. So this is a place where you can negotiate. This is a place where prices can sometimes, maybe the person doesn't even know the value of the item and they're willing to sell it for some great price. And you look on eBay and it might sell for, 10 times that. The other good thing about garage sales and flea markets are you might find somebody who has a collection of a specific item or specific kind of like maybe figurines. And those could be where you can sell the whole collection. That can be a great way to get a good price on those. You negotiate buying the whole lot. I'll buy all 100 of these figurines that you have for this price, but you got to give me a better deal because I want to buy all of them. Or maybe it's a person who used to have a store and they closed their store and now they're just looking to dump all of their old inventory, but they don't know how to do or don't want to look into doing eBay. So you can get a bunch of all these figurines for one price and buy these all as a lot, load them up in your car, take them home, take pictures of them, and sell them on eBay. So that's a great way to get inventory. Remember, people who are selling at garage sales or flea markets, a lot of times are just looking to get rid of stuff and just looking to get it out of their way because maybe they're moving or they need the garage space. And so remember to negotiate with them. Remember to try to get it for the best price possible because the lower you can get it and the more you can sell it for, the more profit is left for you to make. Idea number 5. Now this one sounds crazy, but I still use this one to this day. Buying stuff on eBay to turn around and flip it and sell it on eBay. Now I know that sounds nuts because you're going, well, why would something sell for more on eBay if I'm selling it as opposed to when somebody else sold it? Well, there's a few reasons why. One could be that the person that is selling it misspelled the name of the item. So, like for example, Canon is spelled C-A-N-O-N, but people might misspell this as C-A-N-N-O-N. If they misspell it and you go search for C-A-N-N-O-N and you find something in there, you might find that it's being sold cheap because there's not as many people looking for that item to try to buy that item. You now buy that C-A-N-N-O-N camera, take it home, get it cleaned up, relist it, and you sell it for a lot more under the proper spelling. So that's one of those ways where you can make a lot of money because there's not the people looking for the misspelling. And sometimes in eBay, those don't come up in the search results. So try to find a brand name, try to misspell it on purpose and find those, and you'll find some hidden gems of things that you could turn around and sell for a lot more. The other way you can buy stuff on eBay to turn around and sell is cleaning them up and refurbishing them. A lot of times you'll find things on eBay that are very dirty, dusty, and don't look very appealing. When people are buying stuff, they want to buy stuff that looks good. So, maybe the seller has some really bad pictures, or maybe the seller didn't take the time to clean it up. If you buy that item, clean it up, refurbish it, you can sell it for a lot more. This is, again, something that I currently do to this day, and an easy way to make a lot of money by just buying stuff wiping it down with some Windex, some sanitizing wipes, cleaning it up to make it pretty, take some really nice pictures of the item, and you'll sell it for a lot more than you bought it for. And the last little cut of this buying stuff off eBay and turning around and selling it is you buy in larger lots. So if you can buy things that are sold in a larger lot, like maybe a company is selling, you know, 100 old laptops or 100 old office phones or something like that, you buy those 100 office phones and you turn around and you clean them up and then you sell them individually. The reason why this works is because there's a lot less buyers out there that are looking to buy 100 of an item than there are that are looking to buy a single item. So you look on eBay and you buy 100 of a phone, like say an office desk phone. Now you look on eBay and you see what they're selling for in singles. If they're selling for a lot more, you could turn around and break these down into smaller lots, box them up individually, and sell them as single items. You sell them in a listing where you're selling 100 of that one item as opposed to the lot of 100. Now, if you create that listing where you're selling 100 of that one item, somebody can still come along and buy 10 or buy 7, but buy the specific amount that they need. If there's a lot of 100, they're not going to buy those because if they only need 7, they'd have to then turn around and try to figure out what to do with the other 93. So this is a great way to get some inventory off of eBay, turn around and sell it on eBay. Maybe this also involves the step 2 that I said about cleaning it up and refurbishing it, and turn that lot of large things into a smaller lot of individual items to sell and make a lot of money. And now the last idea, this one is for once you've gotten bigger and you have some capital, because this requires some money. But basically what you want to do is when you find an item that you can sell and you can continually sell over and over again and it will always sell on eBay, you now want to look at the manufacturer's website and try to find out if you can become a dealer, or maybe they have a distributor that you could sign up with and you can buy these items to turn around and sell them. Now, buying these items from a distributor or from the manufacturer cost a lot up front. Now, this is one of those things where you have to remember you're going to have a lot of cash in order to do this, so this is not something you're going to start off with doing. But later, as you get further along, this is a great way to sustain some money and to build up an inventory source that is sustainable, where you can continually buy from them, continually flip them, and sell them on eBay. So that's one of those ones that you're going to want to keep in your back pocket for a little while, but one of those ones where you can also make a lot of money. It becomes a good avenue for selling things. That's the 6 ideas. And now for one tip that really will help you with all of this is you're going to want to remember to keep reinvesting that money. When you buy something for a certain amount and then you sell it for more with that little bit of profit, you now have more money. You now have more purchasing power. You now can buy bigger things. You can buy more expensive things. As you do this and you keep reinvesting that money, you keep growing that snowball. It's tempting to want to buy something new for yourself, a new toy. This is a mistake a lot of people make. This is a mistake that I made early on too. And if you keep taking money out of it, the snowball never grows and your investment capital is never a large amount, and it becomes harder and harder to get to that point where you're eventually buying from the manufacturer or buying from the distributor and you have a sustainable thing that you can flip over and over and over again. So as much as you can, remember to keep that cash reinvesting, keep snowballing it, spend it on buying more and more inventory and growing your inventory to get to a bigger and bigger selling status. Okay, so that about wraps up this video. If you guys have any questions that I didn't answer, feel free to ask those below in the comment section. Last but not least, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so next time I upload a video, you'll be notified immediately. Also, if you really enjoy this content, please like the video. I really appreciate you guys doing that, subscribing to my videos. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and get more exposure to other people and get more exposure for those people to come to me to be able to see these videos and maybe give them some inspiration and some ideas of how to make some money. Hopefully you got something out of this video, and remember, let's get it.